Jordan, and this is VENUM. Welcome to The Void. This is episode 41. I'd like you to check the video description below this video. There you'll find links to my full network. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. On this episode, I'm talking NXT 2.0 from February 1st, 2022. The official post-show review. Whatever. So, the major thing I've discovered, Wendy Choo is a draw. Wendy Choo is apparently a draw. There is massive interest, not only from me, but seemingly the rest of the internet. Who is Wendy Choo? What is Wendy Choo? What will she do next? Well, on this episode, she had a match. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get to it. I'm going to start at the top, and we will get there eventually. So, NXT 2.0 from February 1st. The show opened up with Imperium making their entrance. They were on the stage. I can't mime their entrance music. It's just the ring announcer just casually introduced Marcel Barcelona, Fabian Forte, and Gunther. So anytime the announcer said Gunther and the people started chanting Walter, Diamond Mine were out next. We're getting ready for a 6-man tag, or an AEW, a trios match. Diamond Mine were out next. Roddy, the Creed brothers, and they were accompanied by Malcolm Bivens and Ivy Nile. So, Diamond Mine are in the middle of their entrance. Roddy's down, doing his slap the mat thing. And Gunther, he jump starts it, kicks Roddy in the face. So, he lands a strike before the bell even rings. And then, next thing you know, match is underway. So we're starting off hot. I'm sitting there watching this match. It was a fine match. What the heck is going on back here? What is this? Well, that's interesting. Well, so anyway, whenever Gunther tagged in or did anything, so Gunther eventually tags in and the people started chanting Walter. They won't stand for the name change. They're going to remind you what his name is. So anytime Gunther did anything, tagged in, got in, hit someone, chopped someone, people chanted Walter. They're protesting the name change. They're not a fan of Gunther or whatever the fuck. So I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm rooting for the Creed brothers, professionally. I want them to have a good career, but they need some major seasoning. They've got a good basis, but man, oh man. So Gunther won this. He won this match for Imperium. He did a powerbomb on Brutus Creed, and just pinned the guy. Like I said, a decent opening match. There wasn't anything overly extraordinary, but it was nice and solid, and I think it properly accentuated everybody's strengths and, kind of hid their weaknesses. I'll put it that way. After that, LA Knight was delivering an interview backstage. It was labeled as earlier in the day. So LA Knight is talking about stuff. Yeah! LA Knight's back there. Yeah! So he's talking direct to camera, and then Joe Gacy and Harland, they walk in. Joe Gacy tried to convince LA Knight that, Gacy could help him move on from his restraining order. I helped Harland move on from a restraining order. I could help you too. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's still several restraining orders against Harland from various people. LA Knight countered by suggesting, hey, how about we move on out to the arena and have a match? So I guess there's a match just going to happen because of this interaction. Back in the arena, Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett, they were standing ringside with microphones, and they basically mentioned NXT is going to be on the Sci-Fi Network for the next 2 weeks. So they're being preempted off of USA for reasons. Going to be on the Sci-Fi Network for 2 weeks, which is interesting because Sci-Fi is in bed with Fox. So they're being preempted off of USA, which is NBC Universal, and moving to a Fox station, a Fox affiliate. So that's kind of interesting. They're taking a USA property and putting it on a Fox property. So, whatever. After that, Toxic Attraction made their entrance, all three of them. Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolin, and JC Jane. I'm looking at this and I know, they're all wearing a fair amount of clothes here. They're all pretty, covered up. This wasn't NXT from last week where it was all about the boobs. It was all about the racks, baby. The titties were fairly covered up this time. Dolan and Jane announced a tag title match against Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. Whatever. Kaylie Ray came out with that damn green baseball bat and she interrupted. And she challenged Mandy Rose for a women's championship match. And first Mandy says, Kaylie Ray came out and she's being all threatening with the bat. Mandy says, if you put the bat down, I'll have my girls, step outside the ring so we could chat one-on-one or whatever. I get the vibe, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel this way, but I get the vibe that Mandy Rose is an incredibly reasonable and honorable competitor. I haven't seen her cheat ever. She does stuff that's it's like, okay, that's fair. That's reasonable. So I'm not sure that's what they're going for. Like, is she supposed to be this evil, bad chick witch? Like, I don't get that vibe from her. She just seems on the up and up. So Kaylie made the challenge. Mandy said no. She's like, nah, I'm good. So Mandy refused Kaylie Ray the match, and Kaylie Ray attacked her, right? So the rest of Toxic Attraction slid in to get involved because they were just standing on the outside. They hadn't gone. So when they entered, Kaylie Ray hopped out, got the baseball bat, and then she slid back in and chased them off. Toxic Attraction's out. Kaylie Ray is in pursuit, right? So after that, Mackenzie Mitchell was backstage with Cora Jade for an interview. We found out here she's having a one-on-one match with Raquel Gonzalez tonight. So Raquel walked in and she told Cora Jade, look, it's not too late to back out and just not have this match. Whatever. Cora Jade said, no, we're going to do this. So after that, we cut to the arena. Raquel Gonzalez makes her entrance. Not on a motorcycle this time, thank God. She just walked out like a normal person. Raquel's walking out and we go to a break. After the break, Toxic Attraction were in the parking lot, scrambling, about to leave. Fucking Kaylie Ray's in hot pursuit. But they stopped to jaw jack with the cameraman, which it's like, okay, that didn't make sense. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane got into the large SUV that was waiting for them. And then when Mandy tried to get into the driver's seat, it's locked. She's, oh, girls, open up. But then it's revealed that the driver was Kaylie Ray. Kaylie Ray's in the driver's seat. And she just drove off with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. So So she's kidnapping people now. What's with this show and live kidnapping on air? Harlan kidnapped the Andre Chase University student. And then, who else? Grayson Waller kidnapped some chick in LA Knight's red Corvette a number of weeks ago. All this live on air. And now here, Kaylie Ray is kidnapping. How are these two grown women being kidnapped by Kaylie Ray? Like, why is nobody clocking her in the face from the back seat? This was just bizarre. From this point on, this whole Kaylie Ray's chasing Mandy Rose thing it got old for me, but there's a bit later on that perked it up, and then it went downhill again. We'll get to it. One of my favorite segments of this whole show. So we were back in the arena. Jade made her entrance. She comes out with her skateboard skills or whatever the fuck. The match got underway, and I was quickly reminded, oh yeah, Jade is not that. She's not good. She's just not good. Let's be honest. But throughout the course of this match, I thought her crappiness was probably hidden the best that I've ever seen. She didn't just flub a bunch of stuff and look lost. And so since I've been watching the show, this is probably the best match she's ever had. So at least there's that, which isn't saying much because it's like, oh, usually she wrestles like -6. Here she's wrestling like -1. So it's just like 6 of one, half a dozen to the other. From the get-go, Raquel was in control, and she pretty much was the whole time. The result didn't really seem in doubt unless they were going to do a surprise roll-up out of nowhere. The people in the building were chanting, Cora, Cora. They were chanting for Jade during this, and I don't know why. Eventually, Raquel did her single arm elevated powerbomb the shit out of Cora, and then just pinned her. And to post-match, Raquel took Cora Jade's hand and helped her to her feet and shook her hand and said, let's go win this. So I guess they're just going to team up now in the Women's Dusty Classic. That's all it took was for her to beat Cora Jade. How we're getting from point A to point B is just, there's not a lot of effort being put into this. So, and plus Cora Jade's involved, so I can't really give much of a fuck. Next, after that, there was some Asian chick. She said some shit. She looked like a stereotypical Asian schoolgirl fetish. It was some description. It was just like, what am I watching? What am I watching? What is this? What is this? And then after that, we were with Pete Dunne for a pre-taped interview, with some B-roll behind it. He's basically talking about how he assaulted old Tony D'Angelo with the cricket bat last week, and he said some shit. Eventually, he got to the point. He challenged old Tony D'Angelo to a steel cage match. I'm not sure if next week or at NXT Vengeance Day. I'm not sure. He said, oh, let's do a cage match. Not sure what the date is on that, though. Then, Jesus fucking Christ of Nazareth. God Almighty. The next thing that happened after that, they showed that Asian schoolgirl fetish object. She was walking through the backstage towards the entryway to come out into the arena. Her music was playing, and she looked like a nervous kid on the first day of school, right? She's got little pigtails, and her hair is jet black, like most Asians. Then I am swearing to God to you. She walks, the camera's backstage, she walks through the entryway. There's a bunch of light and smoke. then they switched to the camera in the arena, and some totally different looking lady came out. All of a sudden, this Saray is her name. Lower third identifies her as Saray. All of a sudden, she wasn't dressed like an Asian schoolgirl anymore. She was dressed like fucking a warrior princess, and her hair was a different color. She had highlights on her bangs, and the rest of her hair was some kind of brown brunette, almost reddish looking. It's like right at that moment, my head exploded and I died. That was it for me. Life ceased to go on. What am I watching? What is this? Is this another BOA where they need to stop this? This isn't. I don't know. This isn't. It's not cool. Like, what? This is a live professional wrestling broadcast. If you can't do it live, if you gotta insert some pre-tape footage, then don't fucking do it. This is meant to be a live professional wrestling broadcast. How the fuck just insert some pre-tape? Oh, she's looking different walking through the entryway, and then live in the building, some totally different looking chick comes out. Just feg off. Feg off. What was that noise? Not sure. So, when Saray got to the ring, now she's Asian warrior princess. She gets to the ring, and some chick's just already out there. I believe they flashed the lower third name graphic. I missed it. I'm not sure what her name was. So match gets underway. During the match, Mackenzie Mitchell chimed in like she's reporting live. You just heard her voice. She chimed in to say, Kaylie Ray was spotted returning to the building, and she's desperately trying to find Mandy Rose. So, whatever. So the match, this was a decent little showcase for Saray. Despite all the fucking horseshit, she can go in the ring. She won with a suplex of some description, and that was it. She didn't look. There wasn't a lot of holes in her game. I say there wasn't a lot. I didn't really pick up any. This Saray, she seems solid. Seems like she knows her way around the ring. She's definitely no Cora Jade. So, maybe let's just focus on her wrestling instead of Asian schoolgirl bullshit. Maybe. I don't know. After that, there was this hype package for old Duke Hudson. Remember him? Duke Hudson is... They don't know. They don't have a direction. They don't know. They're just making shit up week to week. Duke Hudson is shaving his already shaved hair. It's like, I'm going to take my hair from 5 inches to 2 inches. It's just nonsense. Nobody, you can't follow it. So after that complete nonsense with Duke Hudson, we were shown Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They were backstage getting ready to do something, I guess, to come out in the arena. I like how Trick Williams is always wearing just a opened either button-up shirt or a jacket of some description, and then he's just shirtless underneath. He's just always just open shirt, abs and chest showing. The whole that's his look. I dig it. They went to a break. When we came back, 2Ks was in the locker room. He's approached by Tommaso Ciampa. They had some friendly words, and they're going to take on Biff and Clem of Legado in a tag team match in the main event. So we go back in the arena where Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams made their entrance. They came out. Carmelo Hayes flexed. God damn, he's got a nice set of biceps. Dude's putting in the time in the gym. That's always nice to see. Other than the rest of these, you just see people that just look like a slob. And you're like, you're meant to be a professional athlete. Could you give a fuck? Could you give, just for me, the viewer, could you give a fuck? So Carmelo Hayes gives a fuck, and it shows. Just very nice. Oh, visually, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are just. Trick Williams is a great hype man. He just, like, Carmelo Hayes will drop a line, and then Williams just shouts out the last word. They're so good. They feel like they're already, in terms of the talking and bouncing off each other, they feel like they're already past NXT. Now, in ring, that's a different story. I know Trick Williams needs a lot of seasoning, but doesn't really need to wrestle that much, in my opinion. I think he just needs to go in there when Carmelo Hayes is building up to an opponent, and that opponent just beats Trick Williams on the way to Carmelo Hayes. So, which is probably what they're going to do here. Cameron Grimes, Carmelo Hayes trash talk Cameron Grimes, and but actually put some respect on his name. I'm not sure if it was meant to be sarcastically or genuine. So Grimes eventually comes out to interrupt. Cameron Grimes came out to interrupt, and he was making SpongeBob jokes. There was some weird dialogue here where it's like, oh wow, nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. I don't know what, like, the verbiage they're using, some of the analogies. It's just like, dude, no human being talks like that. I don't know what the fuck. Cameron Grimes looks like a guy that just got out of fucking rehab and is trying to clean up his life. He's trying to do things differently. He just looks like this, I don't know, swamp dwelling fucking redneck who's now all of a sudden, he's got to make a life change. He's wearing a suit, trimmed up, looking all spiffy, and he's got to report to a probation officer or something. I don't know. So they talk back and forth for a bit, and then Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams just walked off after they were done saying everything they wanted to say, I guess. There was no real punchline or anything, so I don't know. So as they're walking out, Cameron Grimes, blah, 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 to the moon, or whatever, and then the segment ended. So after that was, in my opinion, tied for the best. I guess it was joint tied for the best thing on the show. The other best thing we'll get to later, involving Wendy Choo. But after that little confrontation, we were backstage with Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. So they're sitting in a locker room. They're having a chat. They're trying to come up with a tag name. We're just Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. Idris Enofe was shirtless for what I thought at the time was no reason, and this is by no means a complaint. Just pointing it out. It's actually the opposite of a complaint. More shirtless Idris Enofe for no reason, please. So they're trying to brainstorm, come up with a tag team name. And Idris Enofe said, we're bold and we're brave. And Malik chimes in. He's, and we're confident, or some other C word. I didn't write it down here. I'm just trying to recall from memory. He said, we're bold, we're brave, we're confident, creative, or whatever he said. And then he just, I got it. We could be Team BB. And Malik Blade goes, he was going to say BBC. All right. That wouldn't have been a bad team name. The Team BBC. It's like, Team Big Black Cock. So they didn't want to go there. Idris Enofe suggested they ask Mandy Rose, because he's got a Mandy Rose obsession. He says to Malik, close your eyes and pretend like she was here. So Malik starts going through the motions, and he's closes his eyes, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Mandy. My name's Malik," and he's pretending like he's asking her out. Suddenly, Mandy Rose runs in. She's trying to get away from Kaylie Ray. She runs in, trips, and falls onto Malik's lap. Malik opens his eyes and thanks God. Oh, thank you. Mandy is bugging out, because she's being chased by Kaylie Ray. And Kaylie Ray comes in suddenly. She enters. She's got her green baseball bat. And the two women start going at it. Somewhere in the scuffle, Mandy's fur coat comes off. So Mandy ended up breaking free and running off. And then Idris and Ofe said, "Oh, let's go after them." He's trying to convince Malik, "Let's go after them. We need to follow them." But Malik Blade didn't want to stand up. He's like, "Oh, give me a minute." He didn't want to stand up because he had a hard dick. He had a boner. That was the implication here. His kyak was hard. So he didn't want to stand up. Just let him go. Whatever. So throughout most of this scene, we figured out why Idris Enofe is shirtless. Because he's just flexing his pectoral muscles for no reason. His tits are just popping constantly. His pecs popped severely. And it's like, I'm really starting to like these guys. A few weeks ago, I had completely written them off as anything. It was, oh, look, these two jobbers are just going to get beaten and vanish off TV. That was where I was at. But I'm really starting to like these guys. Idris Enofe popping his pecs is more entertaining than half the fucking segments on AEW. It's because he's not just some guy who could actually flex his pecs, but he's in shape to where it's like, yeah, that looks hot. So I'm sitting there like, this is fantastic. Now they're actually being allowed to get some airtime, show some personality. So I think I'm not becoming a fan. I'm further along than that. But I'd be interested to see. They have a Dusty tag match, a Dusty Classic tag match next week with, I believe, GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans or somebody. So I'll be interested to see where these two go. I'm definitely a fan. Back in the arena, LA Knight made his entrance. Yeah. LA Knight comes out. He is NXT Steve Austin 2.0. NXT 2.0 Steve Austin. Knight's coming out. They cut to a break. When they come back, Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with Diamond Mine for an interview. Malcolm Bivens and both Creed brothers spoke. Then the Grizzled Young Veterans walked in and interrupted. Apparently, it's the Creeds and Grizzled Young Veterans that are having a match next week. And Idris Enofe and Malik Blade are going against MSK. So that should be whatever. So back in the arena, Joe Gacy and Harland are just finishing up their entrance. LA Knight's already out there. It's going to be a one-on-one match. LA Knight versus Joe Gacy. They proceeded to have a pretty standard TV match. LA Knight even did a stomping a mud hole in the corner. Yeah. And it's like, he's trying to reincarnate Steve Austin with hair. Towards the end of this thing, LA Knight's outside the ring, and Sanga the Thunder appeared. He appeared at ringside. Suijin and Kazujin was nowhere to be found, but we got Sanga. He kind of just like distracted LA Knight with his presence. And then LA Knight turned to get back in the ring, and Grayson Waller rolling out of nowhere and gave him a stunner. So there was a near count out after the stunner, but Knight gets back in, and by the time he gets to his feet, Joe Gacy hits a handspring lariat and pinned LA Knight 1, 2, 3. So Joe Gacy is surprisingly agile and athletic considering he's a pudgy fat fuck. Post-match, Grayson Waller got in the ring with a mic and started berating LA Knight. At this point, I'm thinking, is that restraining order still in place? Because they're just having close interactions. So what even is the point of the restraining order if so LA Knight actually landed a punch on he punched Grayson Waller in the face, but then Sanga the Thunder choke slammed LA Knight. So it's like, all right, you've got a restraining order, and then the guy just punches him in the face. They're not even treating the restraining order like it's anything. Like the whole point is to keep these guys apart. Here Waller's getting punched by LA Knight. So I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Waller set up a match between LA Knight and Sanga for next week. So, Knight, if you could win, I'd think about getting rid of the restraining order. What restraining order? There's no restraint being shown here. So, I don't know. It's like, what does it matter now? The restraining order is obviously useless if they're just already in close proximity and getting physical. So, I don't know. Next, we were shown Madam NXT squatter, Wendy Choo. She's walking backstage with her PJs, oversized pillow, and her big gulp cup. And she's got a match versus Amari Miller. The next match is Wendy Choo versus Amari Miller. We were shown Tiffany Stratton lurking in the background, probably on the phone with her daddy. Stratton's face still looks like it came out of a 3D printer. So we went to a break. When we came back, Robert Stone and Von Wagner are somewhere for a direct-to-camera interview. Robert Stone said he paid Von Wagner's fine, and he sees something in this 6'5" sumbitch. And Von Wagner's the future or whatever. I don't know, he just said talked up Von Wagner briefly, and then it was over. After that, we're back in the arena. Amari Miller was in the ring finishing up her entrance. They cut to a scene from earlier in the day where Tiffany Stratton had approached Amari Miller. And she's, that Wendy Choo's a freak. And, she's bad-mouthing Wendy Choo. And Stratton said if Amari Miller took care of her tonight, then Tiffany Stratton would take her shopping, pulled out her credit card. It's on me. It's on me. So, story, I guess. Back in the arena, Wendy Choo made her entrance. She comes out. She goes to the, what we call the hard camera side. She lays underneath the bottom rope, head on the pillow. I'm not sure really how to describe it or explain it, but Wendy Choo is fascinating to me. Just the whole gimmick of here's this wrestling narcoleptic. I don't know. So her and Amari Miller started having a match. Wendy Choo, right off the get-go, Wendy Choo ducked a clothesline, did a forward roll, and ended up laying on the ground. And then she just started falling asleep. And I was like, what the hell? What? I don't know. This is, for some reason, this is drawing me in. It's entertaining. I bet if they did something like this on AEW, I probably wouldn't like it. But this, for some reason, is working, and I don't know why. So then there was another deal where Wendy Choo had Amari Miller's leg all trapped up. She was pretty much clenching her whole body around Amari's leg, and then started going to sleep with the hold on. It was just like, I'm interested to see all the creative things she could come up with revolving around her falling asleep whilst trying to have a wrestling match. Basically, I don't know where they came up with this shit, but for me, it's working. So, match is going on. Partway through this thing, towards the end of it, really, Tiffany Stratton came out and she said, "Oh, remember, you got to beat her." And she slid her credit card into Amari Miller. What the hell is she going to do with a credit card in the middle of a match? But then Wendy Choo eventually won. And then post-match, Stratton is berating Amari Miller. You didn't get the job done, this, that, and the third. She said, "Oh, give me my credit card back." And Amari Miller checks. "Oh, she doesn't have it. I don't have it. Where is it?" Then, boom, camera shows Wendy Choo on the entrance ramp. She pulls it out. Wendy Choo has the credit card. So what the fuck's she gonna do? She's got the credit card. I guarantee you they're gonna go with the illogical sense that next week Wendy Choo would have spent some money on that credit card instead of what would happen in reality, which is Tiffany Stratton would call her bank and just disable the credit card, right? So Wendy Choo would just have a useless piece of plastic, but they're not going to go the logical route. This is NXT 2.0. We accept it. We love it. Whatever. So after that, there was this scene with Indy Hartwell, Persia Pirotta, and Dexter Lumis. One of Briggs and or Jensen walk in. One of the representatives from the law office of Briggs and or Jensen. He walks in. I'm not entirely sure what happened or what the point was. The guy was just talking, was just rambling to no one, to nothing, to nowhere, and I couldn't possibly give a flying sunshine tummy tuck. So after that nonsense, we're back in the arena. It was main event time. Main event time. Legado del Fantasma made their entrance. Everybody's there. Santos Escobar, Carmen Electra Lopez, Biff, and Clem. So Tommaso Ciampa and 2Ks were out next. And so this thing pretty much went the typical tag team match route. It was just a typical tag team deal with managers on the outside. As you would expect, there's repeated interference from the managers, distractions and the like. Biff and Clem of Legado were clearly outmatched by the former and current heavyweight champs. But they still managed to get in some, a bit of impressive looking offense and, had a good showcase for themselves, I thought. The result was never in doubt, though. So towards the end of this, I think it was Clem. I don't remember who's who. Clem ascends to the top turnbuckle for no fucking reason. There was no plan. He wasn't facing anyone. It was just like he just climbed up there to do what happened next. And what happened next was Tommaso Ciampa shoved him on the ass, and he went flying out of shot and landed on the top of the announce table. And he goes flying, and what's his name? Vic Joseph's incoming! And when the camera cuts to the announce table, they're hopping out the way, him and Wade Barrett, and Clem just smashes through the table, so he's done. When the camera shows what's going on in the ring, 2Ks, Braun Breaker. Breaker's got 2Ks, so I call him 2Ks. I'm not calling him Braun Breaker. It's not a good name. I'm just arbitrarily renaming him 2Ks. 2Ks! So he gets Biff up, military press, into the power slam. Done deal. Pinned him 1, 2, 3. Champion 2K's wins. Post match, 2K's kind of had a little bit of a stare down. Face to face, Santos Escobar is like he was going to get in the ring, and 2K's is, come on, let's, he's ready to go. And then eventually Santos backs down. But then out of nowhere, Mandy Rose stumbled out. She was followed by Kaylie Ray in hot pursuit. She's got her baseball bat, and I hadn't seen her hit anyone all night. She's had the bat all night. I hadn't seen her hit anyone, so that's weird. She eventually cornered Mandy Rose in the ring, and was threatening Mandy with her baseball bat, and she demanded a title match for next week, and Mandy Rose finally accepted. So I'm really not into Kaylie Ray. I don't know. From the moment she smashed up all that photography equipment, I was like, this fucking bitch, this prude fucking cunt bitch, who do you think you are, destroying equipment that didn't belong to Mandy Rose? She was just having a photo shoot. And it's just like Kaylie Ray she's fine in the ring from what I've seen. Like, she knows her way around the ring, but just everything else about her aura is just ugh. Just ugh. And Mandy Rose seems like the honorable person in this. She seems like the one that's, no, you didn't do anything to earn a title match. I agree with that. Smashing up photography equipment doesn't earn you a title match, you dumb bitch. So, that was what it was. And the show went off air. On a shot of Kaylie Ray. It's like, all right, well, at least the title match is going to be next week, and we could do something different at NXT Vengeance Day. So, and that was it. NXT 2.0 from February 1st, 2022. Some things are coming along nicely. Other things are just kind of circulating in the ether. Idris Enofe and Malik Blade seem to be coming into their own. They're, really popping on screen, vibrant, showing personality. Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and get over. Wendy Choo continues to fascinate me. What is she going to do next? We've seen her wrestle 2 matches now, and she still appears to just lurk backstage in arbitrary locations. So I've got a question. What in the tried, French fried, titty fuck happened to lashing out with Lash Legend? Is she on hiatus? Did she get canceled? What's going on? I'm kind of wanting me some Lash Legend. So guess we'll have to stay tuned and see if she ever comes back. Maybe she got quietly released with a bunch of other women, and we don't know about it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that was NXT 2.0. So that's pretty much all I got, right? That's pretty much all I got. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. That is all I got for you on this episode. So until next time, I'm D'Lo Jordan, and this right here, this is VENUM.